veins, I've been driving this train. Years in this lane, there's no stopping this flame. Cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost, feeling great, popping off, singing straight, never stopped, never changed. All the squad here to play, and I've got something to say, yeah. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no, I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capping space. I won't stop till I hear him say,
Hey, welcome back, guys. How's everybody doing?
All good, thank you.
Doing good here, thank you.
Good. Okay. What's the weather like? We had a big 60 degrees here in Detroit today, and it was very sunny. What's it like where you are, JR?
It was a chilly one today, so very cold but bright. Sun was out.
Oh, bright,
Type of weather
chilly and
that would
bright.
deceive you into putting on a light jacket when you step outside, it's ice cold. Numb fingers straight away.
Oh, wow. Ryan, what about you?
Warm and cloudy.
Warm and cloudy. Uh-oh, warm and cloudy. What? Oh my goodness. It seemed like when I used to visit Houston, it was always raining. That's like I think I saw as a kid. That's the first place I ever saw a rainbow was in Houston.
Yeah, we'll get some flash rain usually. In Detroit, when it rains, that's a rainy day. We don't
Right,
have
right.
like a rainy day. They'll give it to you hard, pause for like a while, and then it'll stop. It just be like, but we flood though, so by then you still got to deal with the flooding. But
Right.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. You guys had a bad flood not what? I don't know, maybe 2, 3 years ago?
yeah, usually one every year or every other year.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah. Well, hopefully where everybody is, the weather is decent, and everybody is in order. We're gonna go ahead and get started because we got a lot to chat about. So we open up this week with the ladies in nephew cousin Tommy's lounge, and Tommy tells them that they're going to have to take their top connections to meet up with their exes. And the ladies are, of course, all groaning about that because none of them want the men to meet their exes. So we got the next scene. Patrice has invited her ex to meet Alonzo and William. Her ex asked them, what do they not like about Patrice? What did you think about this, Ron? What did you make of that scene? Is that pretty good?
Skip me right quick. I got to doing something on my
Okay,
laptop.
okay,
Yeah.
no problem. I'll go over to JR. JR, what did you think of Patrice? Because she was a little afraid that her ex might be a little over the top.
Yeah, she was very concerned about what the attitude that the ex was going to bring, but he's married now and has moved on, so that was a plus point because he didn't come in on 10 like she thought he might, or say anything particularly embarrassing. But I think it was some good questions. Usually you get like some filler or some light conversation, but he went straight to the point, like, what don't you like about her? And I think that was a very good question to ask. um
Yeah. Hmm.
the responses though were kind of weak, you
You thought
know.
so? You thought
Yeah,
so?
I think they may have been. I think the two guys, William, especially, was trying to be kind of polite, kind of nice. I don't think he even knows her that well to even have anything really major that he dislikes about her. But
Right.
the tanning thing, yeah,
Oh
man,
yeah, that's right. William was the one that said I was a little offended by the tanning comment because
why?
I
What
didn't.
were you
I,
offended by?
well, I didn't get why. Let me see. Let me say that a different way. Not offended, but I was a little shocked. Like I couldn't understand why he was offended. He seemed like he was offended at first because she was saying she likes to tan to get a little color to her skin because she is relatively fair skinned for a black person, right? And I didn't
Mm.
get why he was making like a big deal about it, but then he tied it to the fact that he's adopted and that he's kind of struggled throughout his life with feeling like he's good enough. Did that make sense to you?
Not really. Um, but again, that's his experience, I guess. That's his rationale. But I don't see that. If she likes to tan, then that's her prerogative. I think that comes under grooming, taking care of yourself, making yourself feel good. Um, if that's something that she likes to do once a week or whenever she likes to do it, it's her prerogative. I wouldn't necessarily have a problem with that.
Yeah, I certainly wouldn't. I don't know. I guess this is the thing about triggers. I am learning, continuing to learn as I each day that sometimes things that trigger you don't necessarily have to make sense, right? Because it's an emotional response.
Mm,
So
true.
yeah, so I thought that was interesting. But other thing about William in this scene, William tells us that he's not a jealous man, that he's more of a protective guy. So it doesn't bother him that Patrice and her ex are still friends. He's not like he said, he's not a jealous guy. He's a protective guy. What did you make of that, Jr.?
Um, yeah, I mean that's a mature approach, and it doesn't look like there's anything going on between her and the ex either. Like I said, he's married now and moved on, and he even said,
Mm-hmm.
he's grateful that they broke up because that allowed him to meet the woman that he wanted to marry, and at the time they dated, he didn't want to get married, you know,
Mm-hmm.
but so I don't think there's any real threat for William to be concerned about if they were to pursue anything. I think that ship has sailed.
Yeah, yeah. And that's funny too, don't you think, JR, how you can be dating someone and that person lets you go or you let them go or you mutually let each other go, and then bam, your intended spouse is the next person you date.
Yeah, and that goes back to blocking your blessings, right? Or
Mm-hmm.
um, not. Sometimes I feel like because I've seen the reaction when some of these things happen. Sometimes it can happen quite quickly. Um, with what's his name? What's the guy that had the
Alonzo?
fetishes in the last season? No, the
Okay, I know.
BDSM
Oh,
guy.
Ron, the guy from Detroit. What was his name? The guy that was into into polyamorous lifestyle.
It was
The light skinned guy.
Alonzo. I think was it something like that? Alonzo.
No, last season. No,
Yeah, yeah, or no, start with an L. Then that Lori. Dang, I was just talking to this dude.
right,
uh,
right. I was gonna say I thought you knew him because you said he was from Detroit.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
He
I can't drop it in the chat, guys. If you could, was it Marvin? Oh yeah, Miss
Marvin,
Wilson is
Marvin, it was
Marvin.
correct.
That's
Marvin, it
it.
was Marvin, it
Yeah.
was Marvin.
Marvin.
Now,
Yeah,
now the
thank
thing
you.
is with Marvin, I think what happened was when he got eliminated from the show, he met his current partner like a week after leaving the show and
Yeah,
had
he
started a full blown
did.
relationship very quickly.
I
So
love her
that's an
page.
example of,
Mhm.
like it may not work out for you when you think it's going to, but then out of the blue, something might happen
Yeah,
with somebody
yeah,
else and lead to something
right.
more substantial, right?
Something more substantial. So we gotta unblock. We gotta unblock our blessings, not block them. Unblock them, and move on. When you see things aren't working out, just move on. Say your goodbyes. Been nice knowing you, and move on. I had just on a quick personal note. It was so funny. I was out yesterday, and I got this new phone, And so all of my contacts didn't transfer. That's a whole nother story. But nevertheless, somebody texted me and said, "Hey," and then I text back. I said, "Well, who is this? I don't recognize the number. Sorry, I got a new phone." Long story short, it was this guy that I had grown up with that the last 4 or 5 years, he's always talking about, we got to get together. He's going to marry me. He's going to do all this stuff for me. And then he never shows up. And I'm like, so finally, I had blocked him on the old phone. So the new phone, he's not blocked on. Finally, when he told me his name, though, I went ahead and I blocked him.
Mm.
I just blocked him. I'm like, no, we're not playing this game of cat and mouse and you saying you're gonna take me to meet your family and you're gonna do all these things and then you are inconsistent and unreliable. So yeah,
Right.
but talking about blocking blessings, I just don't want to block my blessings. So I just scooted him right
I
on out
think
the way. Mhm.
I think that that was the initial hesitation from a lot of the ladies on the show. Like a lot of their exes are blocked. So
Oh
they
yeah, Maya said that. Yep, Maya said
exactly,
that.
and some of them didn't have any guys to bring on, right? Miko didn't
Yeah,
have a guy to bring on.
I
Um,
thought that was odd, but yeah.
yeah, I'm sure we're going to delve into that soon
Yeah,
too. But
let's talk about it now because that's the next thing on the notes. Mika meets up with Tommy and she explains that she has no exes that she's able to bring. Do you think it's fair, or do you think it's not fair that she got Tommy offered to be her stand-in for the role of the ex? Do you think that's fair?
nah, it's not fair. And
I
it
didn't think
happens
so.
every season. We see
Hmm.
it like when it's to meet the exes for the ladies. In particular, we've seen quite a few times where one of them has nobody. And it's not like they don't have exes. It's just that they don't want to bring those particular exes on. Maybe the relationship finished on bad terms, or maybe they just don't want to have, someone who knows them, say what happened from their
Yeah,
perspective. Because we have
yeah.
seen some exes reveal some things that was taken as throwing the person under the bus.
Right.
Um,
We've seen that.
right. So
Hmm.
some ladies may be trying to avoid that completely by saying, there's nobody to bring, and that's what I thought with Miko, because initially, she said that one of the guys she dated flew her out,
Right,
and
right. Bring him on.
right, exactly, and then another time I think she said she was left in the car while he went to go do something or something like that.
Yeah,
So
get his nails
you
done or
know,
something.
right, get his nails done, right. And then she also said on this episode that her ex was a gamer. So,
Oh yeah, she
unless these are all
did.
the same guy, or, that's that could be three different dudes that yeah, at least one of them could have come on the show. Especially as
Exactly.
she's also got two other guys in her life, like the father of the 18-year-old and the father of the 6-year-old that she has. So it could have been
Right.
a couple of guys she could have chose, but you
Mm-mm.
know,
I thought
obviously,
it reminded me, to your point, JR, it reminded me of what, a couple seasons back with Jeffrey not being able to bring anybody on.
yeah, like I said, it happens every season. And uh Jeffrey's, I think her ex was an Olympic athlete, and
Mm.
yeah, he he obviously didn't appear, but I think we can clearly see that Mika has at least maybe two or three people that she could have bought
I
if
thought
she was on
so.
good terms enough to do that. And
I
I just
thought.
I just took that as she doesn't have anyone, because she doesn't have anyone that's going to speak favorably. And the
Mm.
thing about having Tommy replace them is Tommy doesn't really know her either. He doesn't know. He's never dated her, that's for sure.
Mm-mm.
So
Right.
he's not going to have a real insight into her plus points and the other sides that other people may experience in a relationship with her. He has no idea what that's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well,
I
Right.
here's the
think
thing that you guys got to understand too.
Okay.
What's considered a relationship, and because this is a big city towns that we filmed Ready to Love, and this is Houston, Dallas, Atlanta, Miami, big city, and dating in a big city is different, and it's way different than probably a lot of the audience members will call a relationship or a boyfriend. And a lot of these women, you got to understand, the men that they're dealing with is on a casual nature. They're Netflixing and chilling most of the time with different dudes that they find attractive. That's the new age of dating. Hey, I ain't got nobody. I'm busy with work. I'm gonna find the most attractive guy I can, and I'll get caught. You know, if he ain't busy partying or being doing with his side thing, he might come through, and that's good enough for her. And they know each other, and they respect each other, and they have a good relationship. But you wouldn't bring him on a show as your representative, and that might be the last 4 guys you talk to.
Oh wow! Okay.
I've seen it, and I've seen it in the show.
Modern world of dating is something. Okay, I see what
you're saying.
Yeah,
these are women. I mean, this whole thing that all the women are so anxious to get into a relationship is great. Is not true. They'll get a relationship if it's perfect, but besides that, they're doing their own thing. And when you're doing your own thing, it's the only way you can really date. What else are you gonna do?
Okay, Ryan, that's a good point you bring up. Okay, so is that true? Do you think that's true across the board with men and women today that are dating for the most part in the marketplace, that men and women will only get in a relationship if everything is perfect?
I think it all depends. I think that's what people are looking for. They say, okay, if it's a no-brainer, then I'm gonna take it. But if it takes a little work, or if it takes a gamble with this, or this is not a sure thing, or this is you know too much, there's a lot of responsibility, extra responsibility is about to come with this, and it's not against a slam dunk, then they're gonna pause for cause. So yeah, 6'4", 6'6" walks in, multi-millionaire, long beard, handsome, dark, dressed good, in the church, family cool, no kids, all the way down the line, walks in. Even if you ain't thinking about a relationship, I ain't letting this pass up. This perfect. I'm with it. But anything else, maybe I'll just see, and I'll just go with the flow and see the vibe and all that. You know what I mean? All that type of stuff. And when you're vibing and you like the guy, but you don't want, he ain't committed to you. You don't want the commitment. You busy, this and that. Y'all only seeing each other once or twice a week anyway. And after a while, he's treating you nice, and you're attracted to him. He's paid for enough dates, and we're adults. Some sex gonna happen, and then you can get used to that routine, man and woman.
Right, that's what it sounds like. I guess.
Because as a man, you still get your freedom. Okay. Ooh, and as a woman, she's still in control because she gonna call you when she needs you in those situations. It ain't like you hitting her up like, yo, you know what I mean?
Okay.
So yeah. So like I said, Tommy came in, which is I thought was weird. Tommy's time is value, costs money. So if they invest in his camera time into her, she must gonna be here for a while.
You know what? You took the words out of my mouth. I was just about to say, Mika went from, we didn't understand why she hasn't been eliminated. She has no connection. Mika's stock went up this week because when I saw Tommy come in for her, I said, okay, she's the it girl. That's all. That's it. That's all. She's the it girl.
Oh yeah, Tommy ain't showing up for nobody. That man busy. That man's hourly rate is different than ours. So yeah, they invested. I've never seen nobody. Yeah, that's the first time they did that.
Well, did he do it for Jeffrey too? A couple seasons back from Miami. Remember Jeffrey?
He did step in with Jeffrey. Okay.
Yeah.
Here's the thing what makes it so bad.
Too, though. She was the it girl her season.
Yeah, she was the it girl too. Yeah. Here's the thing that makes it look so bad though, to not have anybody, is they tell you you're gonna have this scene months and months and months before you start filming. So you have all that time to prep up to that scene, get somebody, they say, yo, write some names. Because they know the scene's going to come up, you might be in it. They don't want to have Tommy come out and spend no extra money, or they don't want to have wondering where they're going to find. You know what I mean? They still got to keep filming. The show got to go on. You in the scene. So they give you so much time. You can find a friend. You can find something to bring on here to kind of represent you, to not be able to get anybody. You know what I mean? I can see if it was a rush situation when they'd be like, okay, tomorrow I'll go find X. And then they're like, oh, dang, I had to call people, figure out what's going on here. This person has moved and all this stuff like that. No, they gave you plenty of time. They gave you more time for that scene than any other scene.
Oh, okay. Did you know that JR? That they get all that time to contact their exes?
Yeah, I did know that because, if you watch the season, you know that it alternates between the guys and the girls on who's going to bring their ex and who's going to bring
Oh
their friend,
yeah.
right?
Good.
So they are known. I assume they are told about it, and even if it isn't someone you had a serious relationship with, there are some ladies like with I think it was Vanessa. She brought someone from way back who is more a friend than anything else, right? So
Well, you know what? I was just thinking of that. She could have brought a friend, apparently a male friend, because
exactly,
basically when we get to it, Vanessa basically does that. Yeah. So here we
exactly.
are. We're gonna go ahead. Vanessa invites Chaz and Dom to meet her friend Thomas. Thomas is apparently just a platonic friend, never someone that she dated, but oh wow, I'm sorry guys. My headset has got somebody else impending into um my ears, so I don't know who that is and how we're getting crossed wires. But anyway, so Vanessa brought Dom and Chaz to meet her friend, or yeah, and then Dom, he says, well, I really don't have platonic female friends, and the female friend that I had, we ended up sleeping together. uh JR, what did you make of that? Because I was like, what is he talking about?
Um, well, I would think it's similar to Mika. Mika ain't got no male friends either, right? So there's some people, I
Right.
guess, who just don't keep friends of the opposite sex, and there are some people that are, they don't believe in platonic friendships like that. Um, there's a mistrust that the guys that they are talking to are waiting to try and hit it, or it's usually like a level of insecurity, I guess, because how can you have a balanced view if you don't have male and females in your life to give you different perspectives or see how people act or move different? If your circle is
Right.
only just you, yourself, and you, and then you know you largely just hang around with people in your own demographic, then you're pretty much just an echo chamber for your thoughts.
Right.
You get to have a balanced
Exactly.
opinion.
'Cause most of your girls, if you're a woman, most of your girls are gonna be like, "Yeah, girl, you did the right thing." Like we were just talking about that over on Married at First Sight, how for Emily, her girlfriends are telling her that everything she says is right, spot on. And I'm watching her and I'm saying, no, it's not. Why are you lying to this girl? The fact that she's promiscuous and she keeps telling her husband that she was promiscuous, like, no man wants to hear that his wife was out there whoring. Nobody wants to hear that. Like, what? What are you talking
Mm.
about? So,
And we also hear that a lot,
mhm.
like with some ladies and their girlfriends. Some of the girlfriends keep them single. You know,
Yes, I've
they
seen that. I've
give them
seen
a
that
lot of
intentionally.
advice based on their own personal experiences or insecurities, or they don't want their friend to go off and leave the group or whatever. So they deliberately hate, or try and put out some narrative for the friend to follow,
Hmm.
because your circle can be influential sometimes in how you
Oh,
think and move.
they are influential for the most part. Ron, what do you think? Your season when you were on, you guys didn't have to bring an ex. It was the women that brought the ex. Your
Yeah, the
season.
women brought the ex, and like you remember the ex I was talking to,
Hmm.
uh, Alexis didn't date him back in college, like freshman year, sophomore year.
Oh
So
yeah,
she
that's right.
really
She didn't bring her husband, her ex-husband.
no, she didn't bring the ex husband. She brought a boyfriend from 15 years earlier. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? They barely like I said, you done had a whole husband since then. You done had a whole kid since then. You got to be a different woman than that. But that's all she could find, because basically it was even the husband or go try to find one of them Netflix and chill dudes from back. You know what I mean? Like who else? It wasn't a bunch of relationships. We're not having a bunch of relationships lately. That's why we're not having a bunch of marriages in the black community. So it's just You couldn't find nobody. So I remember I'm talking to somebody who, you know what I mean? I'm not looking at him as an ex. Matter of fact, me and him are friends now. We hang out all the time. I look at him like a homie.
We're having this whole other conversation out in the chat about Wes from Stay Tuned Reviews says that you guys tell me if you agree with this, that beautiful women can't have platonic straight male friends. Do you guys agree with that? That if a woman
disagree.
is beautiful, you disagree?
Nah, disagree.
That a man won't be her friend if she's beautiful?
Yeah, like beautiful women can't have platonic straight male friends. Do you have any beautiful women friends that you have never slept with, Ron?
Oh, I keep hundreds of them.
Hundreds of them, oh Lord. Yeah.
No, I mean, you know what I mean? Like that people don't understand. Those are the best friends for a guy.
Exactly.
Because like I said, around the corner from my house, these girls, they're successful. They own a house, and there's 4 women. They're all gorgeous. And I'm the homie. I'm the guy. If they want to go out, do stuff like that, I go out there, I protect them, make sure they're cool and stuff like that. But you're friends because it's a benefit. I'm a benefit for them because I never try to sleep with any of them. I never would. I actually treat them as a friend. I'm actually protected to them and things of that nature. And it's good to have a guy there that's like that. In return, if I go look at a girl in the corner of a bar and I say I like her, I don't have to go up to her, because a male going up to a woman is so not smooth these days. I got 4 gorgeous women. You know, when women see another gorgeous woman, they start admiring. That's going up to the lady and saying, that guy back there is the best guy you've ever seen in your life. Coming from 4 gorgeous women, that woman's going to be like, oh, okay, I got to meet this guy.
Okay, so wait a minute. How does that work? So if you're not going up to the women and you're out with your platonic, beautiful female friends, how do you get hooked up with the woman that you actually want to date? How do you work that out?
I send the women over, the girls over there to talk highly of me. Huh?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm sending 4. That's the best part of having good looking women friends that you're never slip with, anything like that. When I want to talk to a girl now, I don't got to speak on my behalf. Women admire other women's gorgeous looks. That's what it is. You send 4 gorgeous women around and they point to me and say, that's the best guy that you've ever met in your life. That I'm getting the number. There's no way around it. She's too curious. You got to figure out why these good looking women are speaking on your behalf so highly. So yeah, having 4, you going up there with your boys, you're looking dumb. Women don't respect men. Send 4 gorgeous women that look better than them, and they going out there and talking on your behalf. You're in.
JR, is that how it works over in the UK, JR? Is it working like that too, where you have the baddies that are your platonic friends?
It doesn't necessarily work like that. No, but platonic friends, I mean, that's every day. Like, everybody has to get along. So you will have platonic friends of the opposite sex. That goes without saying. You go to school, college, university, work, you're gonna have platonic friends of the opposite sex, right? But I can see Ron's angle though, because it's like having a testimonial. And if you're not trying to sleep with these ladies, they're just your friends, then there's a level of respect there that you get, because they know that they can feel safe around you. You ain't trying to pull any moves or anything like that. Because beautiful women are used to being hit on, right? Well, in fact, most women, regardless of if your exterior is attractive or not, most women do get hit on. But also the friend zone is a real place. I always say this: the friend zone is a real place. Once you're in the friend zone, sometimes people get comfortable there, and they know that that's where it's going to go. Like, it's not going to go any further, and that takes a lot of pressure off of your interactions.
What happens? I think Wes has an interesting thought with what you were saying, Ron. What happens, Ron, once you enter into a real relationship with your beautiful baddie woman, and she feels insecure that you got all these beautiful platonic female friends? How does that work out?
You try to introduce them to the friend right away. But these, and then you call the friends your sisters. These are my sisters. Da da da.
Oh,
And when she gets around, and women, they got a good intuition. So when they get around those women and they kind of see how the relationship is flowing, it's like uh it ain't that big of a deal. And honestly, when you're in a relationship, those girls, your friendship to them serves a purpose. Their friendship to you solves a purpose. Y'all always gonna be cool. They can always call you and you got some advice and stuff like that. But that little routine and y'all going out together and things of that nature, and you flagging down poor, you know what I mean, you're not gonna be doing that when you're in a relationship. So you're probably not gonna see them as much when you're
right.
in a
Yeah, that's
relationship.
what
Yeah.
I was going to say. That has to change because if you're still spending the same amount of time with your platonic, beautiful
No, no,
female
no, no.
friends, you
No girl
gotta.
platonic friend you be
Yeah.
spending a bunch of time with when you're barely. It's hard to spend enough time with your girl these days. You know what I mean? So no, that would be obsolete. But just in case I ran into them and they said hi, I would want my girl to know who my friends are beforehand, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you
Right.
ain't just walking in the, you know what I mean, with your girl, and the girls don't know that you got a girl, and they come four girls run to you, hugging you and stuff, and your girl looking at you like you crazy. She's like, "Oh, those girls. Remember me when I told you about my sister girls? Oh, that's them. Okay, you know what I mean? It's a lot easier."
Mm.
Yeah,
And
sissy, I think it is. Go ahead, JR. You
that's
want
how
to
you
say
can
something?
also tell whether your friendships are genuine, because
Mm,
obviously when people get into a relationship, whether your friends do or whether you do, like, you give the relationship space, so you dip out, and then you're always going to be friends. So if the
right.
relationship doesn't work or it progresses further, like, your friendship isn't affected because you know it's a different type of relationship. Whereas when you're dating
Yeah.
someone, all that stuff, it's understandable that they're going to take precedent or priority over the
Right.
friendship to a degree in terms of your time and your effort or whatever and attention.
Right.
But
That's true.
there shouldn't be any insecurities there. If the new girl that you meet is insecure about your friendships, then she's probably just been insecure from before you met her, right?
Right. That's
Because
true.
there shouldn't be anything concerning, like, if you're not spending the night together and getting drunk at the bar and doing all types of stuff, and then there's no reason to be insecure over friendships.
Right. Right. Good point. Good point.
I know for a fact,
Um,
if I dated a girl who had male friends, I wouldn't feel insecure about it, because I'd
if
have to
you dated,
trust that it's a platonic friendship.
so wait a minute, you saying if you dated a girl and she had good-looking male friends, platonic male friends, you would be okay with it, right?
Hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, you'd be secure. Okay, I mean, because like to what Ron is saying, of course, as long as she's introducing you to them, and then most of us have an intuition or an instinct that when we see two people together, I know I do really strong. When I see two people together, I can normally tell whether they've been intimate or not by just the way they touch each other, glance at each other, even if it's been a while. So, like, if you introduce me to your so-called platonic girlfriend, then I would be able to kind of pick up on that. Okay, yeah, this one seems like she's really like Ron said, a sister type friend, right?
Mm.
So,
Yeah, I think
we,
my girl can't be
mhm,
having a good looking male platonic friend that she hangs with, because that's all good in the beginning. Y'all together and you're cool, but wait till y'all have like a little argument or a breakup, and you
mhm.
call her and she mad, and you be like, "Where you at?" "Oh, I'm just riding around with Mike. He picked me." You know what I mean? Like, wait a minute. It don't hit the same if it did when you first met him. When everything was all good. Yeah, I got to think about them dark times and relationships are ups and downs.
Yeah, that's true. Well, hopefully she's at home and she's just crying into her tub of ice cream, or she's talking to her girlfriends, because usually when we women go through breakup or a hard time in our relationship, usually we do call our girlfriends, and then I don't know, for everybody it could be different, but in the after I've talked to my girlfriend and my top girlfriend or two, then my guy friend, my platonic guy friend will be someone I'll call maybe to get his insight into, this is what I did, this is what he did, this is what he said. What do you think? And he'll say XYZ, but I'm not usually hanging out with him though. No,
Mm. And you
but
know what?
yeah. Hmm.
We've seen what happened with some former castmates, Clifton, Joy, and Carmen. You know,
Okay.
they have a platonic friendship between Clifton and
Oh
Carmen,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
and obviously, if there's any beef between Joy and Carmen, then Clifton's in the middle. So we know that it can go a little bit wrong as well, right?
And I think it's starting to on their new show that they're on, Love and Marriage DC. I haven't watched these last 2 weekends, but apparently I've seen Carmen. She's been on several interviews not too long ago, and she is not
Yep.
liking that Clifton is not protecting her image and making it look like she's some kind of side chick.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, so not good. But
When
anyway, we're
she's
gonna
not.
move on. No, and she's not. She's absolutely not. She's a very professional businesswoman, and that's why she doesn't want her name dragged in the mud. And I totally get that. Um,
And she's got a
we're gonna
relationship. She's in a relationship already.
Oh yeah, she's in a relationship. I saw that the interview with her. I saw her guy. He's cute too. Yeah, she's got a whole full-fledged relationship. I think it's they've been dating over a year now. So, but we're gonna move on. Maya's ex. So we see Maya, her ex Wes. He meets Justin and William, and he tells them both that she is very spoiled. And then he proceeds to ask them about their income. At which point Justin starts to sweat and says, "Well, I'm just a humble school teacher, and if she's looking for a guy with a lot of money, that's not really me." What did you make of that? What did you make of that, Jr.?
Common situation nowadays.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
it is.
income is at the forefront of what most ladies are looking for in their guy. Not all. There are some
At
that
all.
still value. There are some that still value the personality and the chemistry and all that. But there are some. What they want to know first of all is how much you're making, and then everything else after that,
Mm,
comes something else. But I already said a few weeks ago, like if Justin's a teacher, then it's a vocation, not really a career like that. You can progress to headmaster, like, or whatever, principal over there, but he may not want to do that. He may just be comfortable working with the kids he works with, coming home and doing his thing, and he may
mm-hmm.
be paid adequately enough for him being single. But if he's gonna date someone like Maya, then you know her what she's used to doing on dates and the places she might like to frequent and things like that, like that's gonna probably come out of his budget because he's the guy, right? So
Mm.
uh, I just don't think there's a match. Sometimes you have lifestyle income compatibility, and I think
Yes,
in terms of his income, it may not be what she's looking for. But as I said, it's common. We see this every season.
we do. We do. It's just that he was so direct. And I actually love this about Justin, that he was very direct and very upfront and saying, because many seasons we have the guy that'll say, well, no, I'm not broke, or I'm not, not that they're broke, but I'm not, I can, I'm high caliber. I've got a high income, and they kind of front, and it's all cap. But with Justin, he kind of called it what it is. I'm a humble teacher, and my salary as a physical ed teacher is not it's not six figures a year, and I don't have all that swag that she may be accustomed to. I like that he just called it out. What did you think, Ryan?
I mean, because she did her little bashful, the money doesn't matter. But when the
Yeah.
woman tells on herself, when she uses the A word,
What's
and
the
she
A
goes,
word?
well, as long as you're ambitious,
Hmm.
what
Oh,
in
the
the
A
F
word.
in the
Okay.
word does that mean? Like, let me break this down for you ladies. And please listen to me. I'm about to give you the Bible scripture right here. And male ambition starts when you're 20 years old. It don't start when you walk through the door and start dating him.
Hmm.
If he didn't have it when you met him, it ain't coming. If you got that ambition and you don't want what he's offering as a lifestyle, then woman, you're gonna have to pay. You're gonna have to make some money and then and share it with and the relationships are changing. It's just, it is what it is now. Some women are going to make more. Some women have to understand if you do make more and you like the guy, then you might have to pay a little more. It's okay. You're working anyway. But I was talking to my boy Lois about his marriage. They've been married 20 years. They met in college with us. And I was like, what's the secret to y'all marriage? He said, we just like each other.
Yeah.
It's that simple. If you like the person, who cares if you making more money than him and they ain't keeping up with this type of lifestyle or this? None of that stuff will matter. You miss being around that person. You like that person. Simple as that. Now, all the rest of the stuff just make it work. But yeah, you can't. It is much harder. Matter of fact, it ain't even hard. It's impossible to turn a school teacher into Elon Musk. Like, you don't turn that into an entrepreneur every day. Like you said, he picked his craft. This is what he wanted to do. He wanted to work with kids. He understood it wasn't going to be a bunch of income in that. And we shouldn't have our teachers having 6 side jobs to try to impress a woman. Them being a teacher's got to be good enough. So it ain't no go out and get some more hustles and everything else like that. When this guy is working, a teacher is a full-time day, job, morning to 5, all that. So that's crazy for me to use the word ambitious, because it's just the harder way to go around. If you need your man to make a certain type of money, it is easier to change his look than it is to change his ambition level.
Oh.
Because so you can get you a fat dude who's not very attractive, and you could put him on the treadmill for 3 hours a day, and he's not gonna like being on a treadmill for 3 hours a day. But it's a brainless activity. You're just you don't have to be a genius to do it. He does that. You buy him some clothes, put some deodorant on him, shave his back hair, give him a haircut, grow him out a beard, and now you got a different man. It sounds like a lot, but it's a lot easier to do that than to try to turn a gym teacher into a successful entrepreneur. It is way easier to change his look than to change that, because for him to change for a gym teacher to change to a successful entrepreneur, he'd have to change everything about him, not just these core things in his looks. His whole being would have to change. Different people. So you're capping when you use the word ambitious. As long as he's ambitious, as soon as that came out, I was like, oh, run, man. You need to run. I would have flew out. If I was Justin, I'd have ran out that door so quick, because that just tells me that person is delusional. Because, like I said, the ambition he's supposed to already have. You don't see it already, and you brought it up. As long as we have some, then no. He doesn't have no ambition, and it doesn't make him a bad person. It doesn't make him wrong. He's doing his job, and it's up to you to accept it.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying in the chat that she could always work with him. He could always move up in his profession.
He don't want to. He wants to be a school teacher. It's okay. Why has everybody got to be chasing a bag or some printed government money after age 40, 50 and stuff like that? Sometimes people are just like, yo, it ain't worth it. It ain't worth it. I want to enjoy my life. I want to chill. I want to do this. There's so much stuff I like to do. Don't cost a dime. Why am I out here breaking my back for an extra pair of high heel shoes for her and extra stuff we don't even need around here? Not going to do it. And it's okay if you're not going to do it. These girls want to turn every single dude that they meet into ambitious entrepreneur. You can move up, or you can grab you 3 side hustles, or you can do this. No, he don't want to do it. He's happy the way he is. He got enough to help you. He can't play at all, but he has enough to help you. You want to take it or not? Do you like men or not? Because a man is going to take it because we like women. Oh, I just want to be around a woman. I don't care what she had. You know what I mean? That's how that works. He's only as good as much as he provides. You know what I mean? Well, you got to make it make sense, ladies.
Okay.
Got to make sense one way or another. Like, what do you want?
Okay.
Well, I think you're actually correct.
They can get both. They have everything all the time. But what do you want? You want a man? You know what I mean? Like, you want a provider, and that's all he good? He's a human ATM machine? Because these guys don't like feeling like that. That's why they don't like their baby mamas. That's why a lot of them don't speak highly of the baby mamas, because they feel like a human ATM machine. And they don't want to be like that.
You have a point. I think people have a right to pick their career, their job, and not, like you say, not be made to feel less than. Certainly. I do agree with you on that.
We got to have teachers, Aubrey. We got to have, right? You know what I mean? Have people with basic jobs to make this world go around.
And my kids' teachers. I feel like teachers are very important to society, period. Well, you were going to say something, JR, I think. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think Ron made some valid points. I think what the danger is, some ladies are actually looking at you to not necessarily be a human ATM, but they want to know how much you're going to be able to spend on them before they make a decision to even date you or go out or anything like that. We see that on the show. So someone like William, he seems to be quite cool with just bowing out, because he knows that if she is, looking to be spoiled or whatever, he may not be able to afford what she's looking for. And then if you look at William, who does have a couple of side hustles and is more entrepreneurial, he doesn't necessarily have the finances either, because you got like 3
You got the
children.
3 kids, right?
Yeah. So his finances are at least going to be funding those children for the next 18 years or whatever, or however many
Right.
years you've got till they reach adulthood.
Mm-hmm.
Plus support himself, right?
Right.
So yeah, like I think it was interesting that LaRon wasn't on this date, because LaRon seems to be the guy that works in tech. He makes the
Mm-hmm.
money
Yeah.
that may actually fit her lifestyle. He doesn't have any previous kids, and he likes her. So I
Yes,
thought
that's a good point.
not having LaRon there was kind of crazy. But it could
Mm,
also be a situation to eliminate both of those 2 guys, that William and Justin, so that now LaRon is clearly ahead of them in terms of going to date her.
mm,
Yeah,
But
no,
also,
no, it ain't gonna work.
hmm.
also to Ron's point, you do hear this build a bear, build a boo term going around.
Yeah.
Listen, I think it's more likely that as a guy, you're going to meet a lady and it doesn't really matter what she does. If you like her, and you're going to accept her for who she is and hope she
Right.
doesn't change. Whereas with ladies, they want to meet you and then they expect you to change or upgrade or do something spectacular. They don't really like you for where you are at the moment and who you are, right? It has to be some type of growth, progression, more finances, more money, all that type of stuff. Not all, but some. Um,
Some women think like that. Yeah.
yeah, and that's leaving them single because they're shrinking their dating pool,
Their
because
dating pool.
they ain't too many guys that's out earning a lot of the women these days in the community. It's a very
Yeah.
small percentage.
Sissy brings up a good point though too. She says that for a guy, if he's talking about having a family, that she thinks that maybe they should be a little bit more ambitious and have more than one stream of income. You know, I think the one guy that we saw this week was Chaz, and Chaz said that he's basically built up his life and set himself up so that he could be prepared financially, mentally, physically, spiritually to be a husband and
Hmm.
to provide for his children that he wants his wife to have. So that's the thing, Ron. Are men really you got a lot of male friends, I'm sure. Do you feel like the men in your generation or younger that they really thought seriously about preparing to be a husband, and then they get to the place where they now want to get married, but they didn't really prepare themselves education wise, career wise? What do you think?
I think males are going at it these days, and they have to when you look at the percentages, and they're not thinking about coming in and guarantee themselves to find a wife and things of that nature at first. They're like, I have to make myself as high value as I can to even compete in this dating pool because the women want so much. So by then you're doing that and you're, as a male and you're trying to, date around and things of that nature, but you're not thinking about marriage or anything. This not this new generation because they don't see the value in it.
Okay.
They don't really see the value in it. It's kind of like I said, more of it sounds like a good idea. It sounds like it, but how many people have you met that said, "Oh, I might marry this person," and things of that nature, and you get started in your head like that person ain't ready, or they don't have no idea what's about to happen, and the marriage don't last.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point. That's a good point.
But with this on this scene, they need to understand that. I know a lot of people watch them all over and stuff, but Dallas is. If it's a woman and she's spoiled in Dallas,
Uh-huh.
Oh my God, I'd pick Miami, LA over any of. I don't want none of that. You know, that person is spoiled. They have a billboard sign when you go into Dallas. So when you go there, called "Let's keep Dallas pretentious." Like they're known as the LA of the West, the spoiled queen, the Dallas Cowboy chief. That's the whole identity of it. So a spoiled woman in Dallas takes a lot of money to maintain. They're telling you that. That's why my man looked at, he was remembering. You could tell the stress came back on his face. He was like, "Ooh, man, them nails and the hair, you know, and this and this and this and that, and going out." And she's single with no kids, so she gonna be out, and you gonna be taking her out and spending some money. And they like to go to nice places. And those nice places in Dallas have a very expensive tag on it. So I think the guy was right for getting them ready, because that's basically all what he was saying. It ain't no kid at the house to keep her at the house 5-6 days a week saving you money. You're gonna be out with her. You're gonna be this. She likes to eat good every day, and this, and that, and it's expensive.
Well, she did say that she has her own money and she pays her own way. But yeah, I did get, like you guys, basically, I did get that she does want to be spoiled. She does expect a certain lifestyle, and that Justin was very correct in saying that he doesn't have the lifestyle that she's accustomed to, and that maybe probably the best thing for him is just to bow out gracefully. William basically said, well, you know, I've got, I think, was it 19 years in the military? I'm a 19-year vet. So he's close to, in another year or two, he can actually apply for his military retirement and
Benefits.
get his benefits. Yeah. So that's a good thing. And then he's got other sources of income. So he sounds like he's a little bit better prepared. But to JR's point, he's also got the 3 kids he's got to take care of with the previous ex-wife. So
if I was putting on a side bet, Justin's gonna win. And the reason is
Justin?
That's his name. Is she dating?
The school teacher guy. Yeah.
She's gonna walk to the end with him, because it ain't about who's the most stable and who's this and that for her right now during her filming of the show. She wants to walk to the aisle with the man that looks the best to her. Mm-hmm. It's a better look for her on TV. It's a better look. You know what I mean? It's how these women think. And when it came, I've seen it every single time. When it came to the financial looking guy coming up to her, and the guy that she liked looks wise, so she can had dreams of going to the end of the show with him on the bridge with the good looking guy that she wanted and stuff. They're gonna pick the good looking guy every single time. That's how it works. Yeah. So I think she thinks he's more attractive than the other 2 guys, and she said, "Okay, well, if I'm gonna be here, I'm gonna walk. If I'm gonna kiss somebody, then it's gonna be him."
Okay.
We worry about the other stuff later.
Yeah. So thank you. So in the next scene, we've got let's see, we've got whoa, I lost track of where I was at. Vanessa. We've got Vanessa meeting up with Chaz and who was it? Chaz and Dominique, right? Mm-hmm. I think we did that one already, right? I'm lost. We did. Okay, so we're coming to it. Okay, so Vanessa, yeah, she meets up with her friend. She's the one that has the guy friend. Okay, and we talked about the guy friend who's strictly platonic, but Chaz, this is when Chaz tells us that he's looking for a wife, and he has been preparing himself for years for this moment where he would marry and have children. It seems like, though, Dominique, it's maybe not the same thing. What did you guys think of this scene? What did you make of this scene, JR?
Yeah, well, Vanessa doesn't want to have any more kids. Sorry, no, she doesn't want to get married again. That's the problem there. So he may have worked his way up to that, but she's not planning to get married again, from what she said last episode. But you know, it's I kind of, you know, I can say that that's a smart thing to do, because there are some guys that, you know, they have an ambition to be a father or a husband, and if he's built his career around that and his lifestyle around that, then that's commendable. But you have to obviously find a lady that is on the same page with to do that. And if she isn't, then it's not going to work. You don't want to waste. You don't have wasted your whole life wishing and planning for it, and then when it comes down to actually meeting the person who you feel like it's going to work with, they're not all in on your idea. Like they're not all in on the family planning type thing, right? So, and also he has to bear in mind that she has previous children as well. So he may have planned to have his own family, but he may have 2 additional children as well as her and any potential kids they have together to be able to finance, and that's going to be tough.
Right. Right. Yeah. I was just responding. I guess I'll just go ahead and say, yeah, Miss Wilson, she said that the military folks don't make that much money. That's not true. It can be true. Let me back up. It can be true, but oftentimes, so what you get paid in the military is based on your performance and your rank. So if you're an E1, enlisted 1, you're at the bottom of the totem pole. If you're officer 1, you're also at the bottom, but now you're in a whole different set of ranking, because if you're an officer, that means generally speaking that you went to college and you have at least a bachelor's degree. So now you're making a lot more than the person that's an E1. The how many years you put in, that makes a difference. How well you've been promoted in your career, that makes a difference. I know several people. My daughter's on the officer side of things. She has her degree, and her friends that she went to school with that are pilots, and have a high level security. Trust me, baby, they make really great money, because once you get a military security clearance, that means that now you can go work for the government. You can be a private contractor, because very few people get the level of security clearance that officers get in the military. That means that they've vetted you, they know everything about your background, you don't have a police record, and they went and talked to your family and friends, and they know that you're not going to sell very personal, very private security information to another country. So that's really not true. You can make a grip in the military, but you have to go in as an officer, or you have to go in enlisted and then apply to be an officer and go to college and get your degree, and you'll make a lot of money.
Right, but
Just a
that
little
doesn't that
FYI.
then go back to the ambition thing, because we don't know Will's rank. We don't know William's rank.
We
So
don't. We don't. We really
so
don't.
and we don't know if he's ambitious enough to progress to sergeant, general, or major, or whatever the hierarchy
Yeah.
is.
Right.
Um,
Right.
as far as we know, he's just a reservist. So
Okay, yeah, she's bringing up the fact that he's not, he's a reserve. That's a different level too. So there's different levels to it. Also, what happens with the military people, because you're military, and then if you come in on your regular day job, you get a government job, you get paid a different rate than if you'd never been in the military. And what happens is you get a dual retirement. So like, for example, a gentleman at my church went into the military, came back home, went to work for EMS, which is government, and it's one of those jobs just like being police or EMS, firemen. Those jobs, they double dip. They double dip. So now when he retired, he makes as much in retirement, like he makes $70,000 a year, and he's retired. Okay. So like most people aren't even making that when they're not retired. So it just depends. You got to know how to work the system. You got to know what to
right.
do and when to do it. But to your point, JR, you're absolutely right. You definitely have to be ambitious to make that kind of money in the military. They're not going to just pay you coming out of high school and you're E1 or E2. You're not going to be making the big bucks. She's right about that.
Hmm.
So, but we don't know what Williams' rank is. That's a very good point. So we've got Rashina. We got Rashina's ex meets up with Chaz. And this is weird, because when we see some of these dates, this is one of the dates where I'm like, Rashina and Chaz, when did that happen? What did you think about that, JR?
I think sometimes production just put people together to see if there is a connection or not. There may
Okay.
not have been anything prior, but you know, if they're not seeing two particular people go on dates or interact, or they realize that it hasn't happened between them yet, there's a chance to put them around each other in an event or an arena, uh,
Hmm.
you know, a dating arena, and see if there's any chemistry there, like a
Yeah.
filler date.
Okay. Okay. That's a good point. And on this date, it seemed to have went pretty well. Chaz, but Chaz is a chameleon. He can get along with pretty much anybody. That's what I've noticed about him throughout the season. But I thought it was
Well,
really funny that Rasheena's ex said that he likes it that Chaz is not hood. I laughed
mhm.
so hard. What did you think of that comment?
Yeah, well, she's basically saying that she dates hood dudes, right? And Chaz may be a bit more affluent than the guys she's used to dating. And I think you're right. Chaz is a chameleon because he does have that bank balance. Like I said, like, there are some ladies who look at how much you earn, or what house you have, or what car you drive, and that determines the level of access you're going to get to them. And I think Chaz definitely has some finances working in his favor, considering they were very impressed by his house.
Mm-hmm. They were. They were. All the ladies like Chaz's house, so that's for
Um,
sure.
and
Hmm.
eloquent, though. Um, but the compatibility thing again, like if he wants children and he's got these
Oh
finances, then
yeah.
only certain ladies are going to be eligible to share that
Mm,
dating experience with him.
yeah. And that's a good point because back to Rashina. Rashina has a couple of kids, so I'm wondering
She does.
if she wants to have any more children.
Exactly.
Yeah. So moving forward, we have Maya and LaRon and Justin meet wait a minute, why do I say Maya? That's not Maya. I'm sorry, Mika. Mika and LaRon and Justin meet up with Uncle Nephew Tommy.
Hmm.
Um, LaRon says he'll miss work for a new video game, which kind of triggers Mika because Mika had an ex who was all into the video games, and she says she doesn't want a man like that. She wants a man that's going to get up and go to work. So those two kind of butted heads, and then we see Mika basically saying, "I don't." I think that LaRon and I are just. He's giving me homie vibes. I think Justin is the one for me. What did you think of that?
I was like, okay, so where's the guy? Like, where's this gamer dude? Why is he not on the date? Why is Tommy there? Like, you got an ex that played video games. That's the type of that that's the guy we're expecting you to bring on the show. Um,
Hmm.
and if you dated him, that's a viable candidate. Um, I think LeBron was basically saying that because he also said he makes video games as well. So I've
Yeah.
dabbled in that. I've dabbled in that as well, and
Oh,
it's a
okay.
long process, right? Um,
Uh huh.
you don't just put the cartridge in, turn on the power button, and press play. That's what you do when you're playing a video game. But to actually be developing and making video games, you have to
Hmm.
test it, play it, then tweak certain things, delete certain
Mm.
things, add scripts, add sprites,
Oh, wow.
animation, sound effects. How
Mhm.
do you want the game to look? Like visually, what controls are set. There's a lot of stuff. There's an element of coding to it as well. It's
Oh,
a it's
wow.
a very painstaking thing, right? It's a
Mhm.
project.
Right.
Um, Now the thing is, he specifically said that if a new game comes out, he'll sit down in the house, take time off work, and play it if it's good enough, right?
Right.
Um, Now I would say, as young as he is, 31, I think
Mhm.
he's still kind of too grown to be doing those type of things. Because I mean,
Mhm.
video games are cool entertainment when you're younger, but you shouldn't really have time. Well, I can't say you shouldn't really have time. If you have time to play video games after working your job, then fair play to you. But I don't know how that happens
Now,
because video games take up time, and usually when you finish your 9 to 5 or finish at 6 or whatever your finish time is, that
Right.
time, that 2 or 3 hours before you go to sleep goes so fast. I don't know how you're sitting there playing video games.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. But I thought because he said he would miss work. But the one thing I did think of, and maybe I'm misinterpreting this because I have no idea. I know he works in tech. I'm thinking that maybe the game development is part of what he does. So it's
Yep,
actually like almost kind of part
work
of his
related.
work in a way, work
Yeah,
related. Right. Yeah. So that's the
yes,
only thing I thought about with that. I said, well, maybe what he's doing is he's telling us that even on his off time or his downtime, he will take time to play a game all the way through for several hours because it helps him to figure out, like what you were saying, the kinks in the system, where he needs to
mhm,
do correction, where coding, animation could come in. That's all I was thinking. So I'm not sure, but
yeah.
LaRon
But
LaRon
but
does
she
kind of young.
she definitely took it as, oh, you sitting down playing Madden all day, like you're taking time off to
Right.
play Mortal Kombat, you know. And
hmm
she also said that the ex that in question that was playing the video games, that ex had a great relationship with her son because they
Yeah,
probably
she
shared
did.
that experience. Like they probably sat down and played video games together, type thing. And the son loved him, right? So
Right.
uh, that triggered her, and she's not looking for a guy that does that. Um,
Oh yeah. Right.
that rules LaRon out of that equation because first of all, she's right. He doesn't have the experience of being a father yet.
hmm
And if the video game thing triggers her, and that's what he does for a career or his pastime, his hobby, um, then that's not going to be a match. You know, every time that power button gets pressed and he sits down with a control in his hand, she's gonna catch an attitude.
Yeah, she is. She is. And then the other thing about it is that, like she said, like in this scene, the thing I think LaRon makes the mistake about, and I see him do this with the woman that he really says he's attracted to, Maya, coming up. He's always doing the what is it? What do you call it? The high five. Like he's always high fiving the woman, or he's always calling the woman bro, bro, bruh, bruh, bro. Like a
Mhm.
lot of this stuff that is trendy, right? It's things that people do and they think it's cute. It's all on Instagram or TikTok or whatever the hell it is. A lot of the things that people are doing, men and women, it's like it's trendy, but it's also not romantic. It's also not making the person feel special, making the woman feel special. If you're calling a woman bruh, you giving the woman the high five. And if a woman is giving a guy a high five, same thing. Because like that's kind of what you do with your friends, your platonic friends.
Right, but I don't see anything wrong with it because Mika said he's giving homie vibes as well. So maybe that's why he calls her bruh or bro or whatever, because he feels
Right.
the
Well,
same. I don't think there's a romantic connection there at all.
oh, okay.
He,
Well, good, because
he,
because he doesn't seem like it either. You're right.
nah, he said that he thinks she would have kids for the right guy, but I don't necessarily think there's a connection there. Like I said,
Yeah.
she's already eliminated him. She said that he doesn't have experience with kids, right? And
Mhm.
the video game thing is a trigger. So first of all, she's right about both of those. If that's how she feels, she was open and honest. They're not compatible,
Right.
and he likes Maya
Right.
anyway.
He likes Maya. Okay, so then he was just there. He was just a filler at that point. Then
Yeah.
you probably right about that. That makes sense. That makes a little bit more sense then. So we go to the next date and we see Patrice is all dialed up and looking beautiful as usual. Alonzo is dressed up and he is meeting her and he tells her he has shut down the entire museum just for her.
Mhm.
They walk around, they have a good time, and then afterwards he's even planned a romantic dinner complete with champagne and rose petals and the whole 9 yards. Do you think he did a good job with this situation,
He
this
did an
date?
excellent job.
Excellent.
Listen, there's some girls who ain't even getting called back or Dominique ain't shouting out no one at all, and
Nope.
we haven't seen any of the other guys really going all out to do anything.
Mm-mm.
Just the mandated dates that the show's been organizing. But if he did put this together, and I think it was very romantic, and it
Mm-hmm.
shows his intent that he really likes her. Um, and they seem to get on well too. Like it's reciprocated. She seems to be quite cool with him. Um, so
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I don't see anything wrong with that at all. It's a
Okay.
very
Yeah,
romantic
you
date.
it was. It was. I will agree with you. And I guess it kind of came on the tail end of her basically saying earlier in the week that when he met with her ex, that she needed to know if he was really serious. So I guess he really stepped it up.
Well, he gave her a love letter last week. That's
Mm-hmm.
serious, considering
Yeah,
the
true.
short
That
amount
is
of time
true.
they know each other.
Yeah, that's
Um,
true.
and
That's
then
true.
to go on this date, something elaborate, plus meet her ex, and kind of show his intentions, and not he didn't make a fool of himself like he has done a couple of occasions. So yeah, like it's a good connection for me. I didn't see no problem with it.
Yeah, good point. Good point. Good point. And so after that, we basically end up in the ladies' lounge, finally to decide who gets eliminated. The ladies, of course, minus Patrice, say that Alonzo and Dom are not connecting with them. So
Hmm.
we get the next scene. Vanessa takes out Alonzo, and Maya takes out Dom for the
Yeah.
elimination. What do you think about Vanessa and Alonzo's date?
Um. Well, listen, I can see a little bit why Alonso's there. He
Okay.
likes Patrice, so
Right.
he isn't making the effort with the other ladies. And Dominique, you called it correctly last week. Dominique doesn't really have any real connections. His connection was Vanessa, um, and he wasn't even in contact with her a lot. So
Yeah, he
whatever he's been doing, he isn't interested enough. So I think Vanessa's date with Alonso, he seemed very relieved. But I think the only reason why he's down there really is because he's focused on Patrice, taking her to the empty museum, love letters, all those things. He ain't doing
right.
that with nobody else. So they don't feel like there's a connection there. They know where his intent is.
And speaking of Alonzo and his intent with Patrice, what did you think that Alonzo what he contacted Vanessa and let her know what he did for Patrice? Did you think that was a good idea?
Yes, I do.
You do? Why?
Because it basically said that she's not really a connection anymore as much as he's feeling Patrice. So
Oh, so
rather
that
than
was
it
his.
go back to the ladies' lounge, and you know
Oh,
it's a surprise, and she feels like she's been led on, and she's on,
okay. So his way of kind of letting her down easy.
yeah, nipped it in the bud. So it can't be gossip if he's told her.
Oh, right. You're right. I never thought of it that way. He's maybe smarter than I thought he was. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. And then in the next date, what do you think about Maya taking out Dominique for the elimination date? And she basically kind of told him, the lady said, "Hey, look, you weren't pursuing us."
Hmm.
To which
And he said,
to which
"Well, I was making more effort than you was."
Yeah, you
He
know
said,
what? That right there, like she's a cool cucumber because that right there, that is annoying. Like you were making more effort than I was, but guess what? While you were making the effort, I was getting my hair done, my nails done, spending all this money to get dialed up for you or whoever I was going out on the date with. So, what's your point, buddy? Like
"Yeah, well, she."
this is where let me just say this real quick. This is where I think the traditional way of gender roles of men pursuing women, I think it's causing a lot of irksome behavior, because if men don't want to pursue women, then I'm like, what's making you masculine? I could just date a woman if I wanted someone that's non-masculine. I don't really get it.
Well, it's quite easy. That's simple. We're not in a
Okay.
traditional age anymore. We're in a modern
No.
time. So
Right.
the traditional stuff is going out the window fast.
Right.
It's something that they used to do yesteryear,
Right. It's
like
and
last decade.
this is the thing, though, not to cut you off. This is the thing. It's going out the window. And I understand we're in modern times, but my point to what I'm trying to say is, maybe I'm not really expressing it well, is that while I understand it's modern times, things do change, of course. But just to say that things are changing, and like Ron pointed out before he left, we now have in the Black community, at least in this country, we have much less marriages now. We have
Yep.
people that get together, like Ron pointed out, for situationships and Netflix and chill type of thing. So, I mean, it's not like it's changing for the better. I think if things are going to change, you would expect them to at least change for the better. It's not better.
Well, it depends. You know, if the modern standard is basically, you know, there's a lot more focus on women wanting to be independent and not necessarily in the home as homemakers,
Mm-hmm.
barefoot and pregnant, all that type of stuff is played out.
Mm-hmm.
So again, with modernization, the downside to that is the housewife that some men are looking for. You're not going to
Mm-hmm.
be that. You're going to be unhappy in that role. So marriage is a traditional concept, and modern times doesn't necessarily fit traditional beliefs anymore like that. Um, that's why you do have situationships where people are just doing what's convenient, or booty calls, hookups, or professional girlfriends and things like that. Um, because it's more convenient. It works around the lifestyle that you have. Whereas traditionally, you have some guys like we spoke about with Chaz who may have decided, you know what, I want to be a husband and father. I'm sticking to that. I want to meet a lady who's X, Y, and Z, and I want to have my 2.4 children and my picket fence and all the rest of it.
Mm-hmm.
There's some guys that still have that traditional mindset, but they're probably
Okay.
looking for women who have a traditional mindset to match that. Um,
Okay.
so it's all about compatibility.
Yeah. In the meantime, while we were talking, Chaz kind of snuck in, and I'm going to go back to his comment and put it back up on the screen. He says that if money is the most important aspect that you're looking for in a man, then your short sightedness will probably keep you single. I think that
That's not.
that makes
That's
sense.
facts. That's facts.
Yeah,
hmm
I think that makes sense. I
Like
think it
I,
makes
I tried
sense.
to be nice by saying that it shrinks your dating pool, but yeah, in
Yeah,
effect,
he kind of got it a little more directly. Yeah.
yeah. Because the thing is, if something happens on the job, like layoffs happen, or
Mm-hmm.
a working injury, or something like that happens, and you've based
Right.
your whole reason why you're with that dude because of how much he earns and the lifestyle he can provide you through his job. Once that income gets affected or starts to change,
Mm-hmm.
you're no longer going to see him as the man, or see it, or be attracted to him because his finances isn't there. So I ain't saying they're
Yeah.
gold diggers, but they ain't messing with no broke jiggers.
Right, got you, got you. I don't know, but I guess I want to come back to Chaz. Tell me in the chat, and the rest of you that are in the chat too. Just guys, I don't know, Wes, if you're still out there. We have him representing the men. Let me know if you're watching it on the replay in the comments section. My question is, okay, if things have changing, like to what JR is saying, we're not no longer in the traditional age, we're in the modern age. I get that, but what does that have to do with men having this instinct to pursue? And do you think that women should be just pursuing the men more, or is it an equal thing, or how does that really work? Because what I see and I hear is these modern women are basically still saying that they want the men to pursue them. And I don't think they're wrong for that.
Yeah, but it's not going to happen in the way that they're expecting it used to happen. How it
Hmm.
used to happen was because there were certain, there were certain things that come with
Hmm.
being pursued.
Okay.
Like you knew how to take care of home. You were a good cook. You were,
Hmm.
um, the feelings that you had. It was like a special feeling. Like you wanted to just hold hands with that person and tiptoe through the tulips with them, and
You
and and,
remember that? What?
and exactly, and run out in the rain and serenade them outside their window and all that. That's not gonna
Oh
happen these
Lord.
days. Like everywhere,
Wow.
everyone's moved on, and so I don't think being having a modern mindset is going to be necessarily compatible with wanting having traditional expectations. It doesn't work like that. You can't
Right.
mix and match. You can, but you have to find someone that's going to kind of mix and match with you. And I think for the most part, if you're a traditional
Okay.
person, you want tradition. You have traditional values. If you're a modern
Right.
person, then you have more modern values, and there are some in between that will just ad hoc and cherry pick and try and get the best of both worlds. So you just have to find
Yeah.
what matches you.
You gotta find somebody that matches your okay, your I guess your non-negotiables and your what's that? Non-negotiables and what's the other one? Deal breakers. They don't have
Mm.
your deal breakers and they match your non-negotiables. And at some point,
And
like to what Chaz is saying, you got to compromise. I think both people, the man
exactly.
and the woman, have to be willing to compromise. You're not gonna find a perfect person. You're not gonna find somebody that looks like Beyonce, cooks like what's that guy Emerald,
Mm.
guy from Louisiana that cooks like a dream. You're not gonna find somebody with that, and they're built like this person, and like it's like you said about building a man. It's also like people try to build a woman. You got to accept people for who they are, where they are. If you fall in love with them, or if you think this is your good match, and then you got to decide to commit and make it work.
Yeah, but the difference with that is the long catalog or list that ladies come with. Men's lists aren't that extensive, so you're pretty much looking for perfection. The longer that list is, the more things you have on that list, the more you've been specific, and you're not actually compromising on anything. You actually stated specifically, this is what I want. This is my shopping list. You have to come with all of these different things, and finding a guy that's going to tick all those boxes is going to be quite difficult. So like I said, I just think if you're going to be modern, stand on it. Um, it's great, but find someone that kind of matches what you're looking for, your outlook, your lifestyle, all those things. It doesn't come around often.
No, it doesn't. Trust and believe that. You got that right. Okay, so we're gonna we're almost there. So they take the guys out, and then of course we know Dominique is the one that they decided to let go, and Alonzo lived to make it another day. And he says he is definitely going to be more intentional with the women. Do you think they picked the right guy to go home, Jr.?
Uh, yeah, looking back on it, I mean, out of the two, Alonso has a good connection with Patrice. Dominique doesn't have that. Like I thought him and Vanessa were gonna be cool, but
Mm-hmm.
evidently, um, you know that didn't materialize. She likes Chaz,
Mm-hmm.
um, so yeah, he didn't really have anyone in the ladies' lounge to kind of vie for him, like as a connection. So yeah, I guess the right person did go home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I told you something, and I'll say it again to the audience. I think that Dominique was great for 1 week, and that was the first week. Like I never he never showed up in that same way again. Like the first week, all the ladies, do you recall at his mixer, the women were like, "Oh my God, he's so manly, he's so masculine." He was talking
Mhm.
about these 2 to 10 kids that he was going to have with the lady that he decided to marry, but he never
Mhm.
showed up in that way. And I'm going to say it, like I said, whether you say it's modern times or the old times or whatever, the fact that he didn't pursue the women, I think, is what got him eliminated.
Yeah, and I can kind of see why he didn't pursue them as well, because they, most of the ladies that are still on the show have kids. So,
Mm,
in order for
okay.
him to have 2 to 10, they're gonna have to want more, and some of them have already stated that they're not planning to have any more. So there isn't really much to pursue.
Mm. Yeah, I guess you're right. Because the only person, the last person we saw him with last week was Vanessa, and we know that she already has 2 kids, right? And
Hmm.
she told him last week, she said, if you're interested in me, then you should pursue me. So
Yep.
maybe that's what it was. He decided he wanted to start fresh with a woman who, like himself, didn't have any children prior.
Hmm.
I can appreciate that. Okay. That makes sense. I can appreciate that. What about coming up next week? We see they're going to go, the singles are all going to a luxurious weekend retreat.
Hmm.
And it's interesting because we know that it should be a woman getting eliminated next week, but it looks like the women are going to be sending home another man.
Hmm.
Yeah. Who do
Yep.
you think?
Could be another twist in the tail, right? Um,
Yeah, it's going to be it's a little bit of a twister, a curveball.
yeah. Uh, well, I think on these mixers, it's a chance for the connections to blossom even further and to trim even more fat, as they call it, right? Trim away any excess. Anyone that's lingering around by themselves during the mixer,
Hmm.
they probably are going to be, watching the person they thought they had the strongest connection with brewed up with somebody else. So that's going to create some tension, probably. And, you know, at the end of the mixer, usually are a bit more clearer as to which direction the couples are going to go in. So, yeah, interesting. I personally hope we see a double elimination. We see a lady and a guy go home. I hope that's part
Ooh,
of
that
it.
would be good. Yeah.
Yeah, that those who are not connecting and you haven't decided to connect with each other, rather than sit down and wait for your turn with someone when you're supposed to be mingling with everyone still, then yeah, you might be time for you to go home.
Mm. What do you think about Chaz? I don't know if you're still out there, Chaz, but you in quite a pickle on this next week's episode. You are in the bed, stretched out with Mika when your girl Vanessa comes in and catches you guys red-handed. What did you make of that, JR?
Well, Vanessa's not his girl yet, they're still in the
True,
process.
true.
They're still on the show. That's not his woman yet.
Hmm.
He has a lot of connections. Like we said, he has a lot of access because he's
Mm.
attractive. Um, so he's exercising his options, as they say. Uh,
Okay,
and
that's
like I
right.
said, the difficult thing is for those who are, you know, not with him, they're going to be observing him interacting with other ladies, and that may ruffle some feathers.
Yeah, because they also show Chaz with I think that looks like it's Rashina has a strawberry in her mouth, and they
Hmm.
start he starts, you know, basically going after the strawberry, which leads to him kissing her.
Hmm. Hmm.
I'm
And
like,
then you see the
what?
insecurities come out. You see a little bit of the jealousy come out. You see,
Jealousy coming out. Yep.
yeah. So, but again, this is what's going to happen. This is part of the show. Like he has more connections at this point than anybody else left.
Mm, yeah,
So
he is making a
if
lot of
he's spending
connection.
time with one lady, then there's probably two or three other ladies who are sitting there, arms folded, pouting, waiting for him to come over and see if they get some quality time with him too.
Oh my goodness. Well, I don't know. Uh, Stay Tuned Review says he thinks that Dominique was done dirty, but I don't think so. Stay tuned. If he doesn't have the fortitude to call the women and check on them, then it's time for him to go home. And to JR's point, he probably wanted to go home, I guess, because there weren't any women there that didn't have the children that were also interested in him. So that's maybe kind of how that one went. I don't know. Um, Oh, wait a minute. Okay, Chaz chimes in and says, "Hey, that they're not showing all of his individual dates. Really? Is there a connection that we're missing, Chaz? Drop down in the chat and let me know, because you seem to be connecting with everybody. You're kissing the lady with the strawberry in her mouth. I think that's Rashina. We see you lying on the bed with Mika, and that's a new connection for you. What's going on with you and Vanessa? Are you trying to make a connection with her, or you decided to rule her out for someone else? Let me
To
know.
be to
What?
be honest, I thought like Maya and Chaz would have been a great fit, but um
You thought, wait a minute, say that again. You thought who would be a great fit?
Maya, Maya and Chaz.
And Chaz. Oh yeah. Oh
Mhm.
yeah. That's right, because she doesn't have any children.
Nope. And he has the finances, and they're both fairly good looking
Yes.
by most people's standards. So,
Very attractive, yeah. Oh, that's a good one. We have not seen them go out on a date yet. So, Chaz,
nope.
is that what you're talking about? Did you go out on a date with Maya and we didn't see it? Like, what's going on here? What's going on? Oh, wait a minute. He is saying, Chaz is answering. He's saying that Rashina and I have a true connection. So maybe this is a curveball coming up. Okay, Chaz.
Mm.
Um,
Maybe that strawberry was tainted with some love juice.
maybe she put some juju on it, huh?
Mhm.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. Kiki, I need you to drop down when this video is finished. I need you to drop down in the comment. That way I can click on you and make you a moderator so you can be a moderator next week. Okay. I need you to do that for me. Just drop down, leave a comment. It doesn't have to be long or anything. Just as long as you leave one, then I'll be able to make you a moderator. That's interesting with Chaz. Wait a minute. What you doing? You coming in all late. We about to get out of here. My other co-host, Kimberly Reviews, says, yeah, income does matter. Absolutely. Who said it didn't? Absolutely. Even though these guys are trying to tell us it doesn't, but
No, it does matter, and that's what affords someone like Chaz all the options. That's why
exactly.
he's gonna have three or four, right? Can't have it both
Uh-huh.
ways. Like if the income is attractive, then it's not
Yeah.
just gonna be one lady that's gonna be looking at that. All the ladies
Oh,
that
I see. Yeah.
prioritize that are gonna be going after him or hoping that he comes after them, right? Pursues them.
Right.
So yeah, there's only one of him to go around though, and there's probably three or four ladies with those type of aspirations for the guy that they're looking for. So yeah, they're gonna have to stand around and watch who he goes with and how those dates end up. And I think it may get a little bit more competitive or feisty in a ladies' lounge because you're now
Hmm.
sharing the same guy.
Oh yeah, that's when you usually see those tempers flare. Cause
Mhm.
as Miss Wilson asked the question, because who's gonna end up on the bridge together, right, Miss Wilson? And who's gonna choose themselves instead of the mate that's on the bridge with them, right? I want to
Mm,
know. My question is, where is William? We saw a lot of highlights from next week's episode, but
mm,
I didn't see William in any of them. I saw LaRon, I saw Chaz, I saw oh, who else did I see? I just saw Chaz and LaRon. Chaz was in mostly all the little highlights for next week. Did you see any of the other guys?
mm. Did I see any? I think I saw Lonzo. Um,
Alonzo, yeah, you're right. We saw Alonzo doing that dance, and
mhm.
yeah, we did see him. And who was on the jet ski? Who was that on the jet ski? That was somebody else
Mm,
too. Was that Chaz on the jet ski? it
Let me
showed
even.
it so quick. It was like a flash. It was somebody on the
Yeah,
jet ski. It was a guy, and he had a woman behind him, but we couldn't see the woman's face.
right. Mm,
Uh-oh. Chaz is telling us gamers make a lot of money. Yeah,
yep, they do.
that makes sense. That's what JR was defending that. He was saying
It's
that they do.
gaming is a multi-billion-dollar industry.
Wow. Wow.
It's
But
it always
now,
has been, but it's one of these things where you need a lot of developers and a lot of coding experience and things like that, and companies pay hand over fist to hire people with those skills. And if you look at most uh, action movies, cartoons, they get converted into video games because depending on the popularity of the show or the cartoon or whatever, they can release a video game, and like Spider-Man, for example, and the
oh,
success of the video game is going to generate a lot of wealth for
oh,
the people
okay.
involved, and voice actors as well. The actors that play the roles in these games, they make a
Oh,
lot of money.
okay. Hey, I think we got an answer from the chat. Miss Wilson said, "Yeah, that's right. That was Justin that was on the jet ski." And she says he's on the jet ski with Maya. I couldn't see Maya's face, but I know there is a woman behind him. I couldn't tell who it was, but she's saying it was Maya.
Hmm.
And about the gamer thing, okay, gamers make a lot of money, but now gamers being different from the guy that just plays the games but doesn't develop the games, right? We're gonna make that differentiation between those two
Yeah,
people.
but no, no, no. Listen, the guys that actually play the games, they now have Twitch, they now have YouTube channels, they now
Mm-hmm.
have social media platforms where they make a lot of money
Mm.
from playing video games. All they do is just set their camera up facing the screen of the PC or the television screen or whatever, and they that literally will just play their games, and people will tune in to watch them play their games or listen to them narrate their way through what they're doing. Yeah, a lot of people making money on social media through that. Tutorials and things like that, how to play the game, where to find items, unlock bonuses, special moves. Yeah, there's
Mm.
tons of channels now where people are making six figures.
Oh
Um,
wow. Okay, yeah.
yeah.
And Chaz is sticking by that. He's telling me that he says, I hear you, but I'm assuming he has to be LaRon. He does develop games and apps. And that's what I thought, Chaz. I wasn't referring to him. I was actually referring to Maya's ex, the guy that she said that had gotten close to her son.
Oh, Mika's
And
ex. Mika.
I mean, I'm saying it wrong. Oh, Mika. Thank you. I keep those M's are tricky for me. Okay, Mika's
Hmm.
ex. That's who I was thinking of. I wasn't talking about Chad. I mean, I wasn't talking about LaRon. I didn't think that LaRon was a bum or didn't have a good job. I actually know some people quite close to you guys, and I've already heard even before this show even started that LaRon is doing very well for himself. So I understand that he's a high figure. What do we call it now? High income earner, and a what's the other thing that Kevin Samuels used to say about the guys? Well, anyway, he's in that top 10% that women are looking for. So I get it. You guys are very successful. I'm not trying to put anybody down. I was really actually referring to Mika's ex, but yeah. Um, okay, so I think that about covers it, doesn't it?
Uh-huh.
All right. Well, we're gonna slide on out. We're gonna shimmy and shake on out. I'm sorry. No, before we leave, let me go right back for 1 second. Tell the people what you got going on over on your channel and your Instagram, and how those two are actually different.
Okay. Instagram is more health, fitness, well-being related content. YouTube is relationship content. Uh,
Mhm.
when you look at your aspects of life daily, you have your relationships, you also have your health, well-being, things like that, and everything has to work in synergy. If there's any discrepancy or negative energy or stresses in any of those particular things, then they may spill over into your other areas. And the sooner you get on top of that, the better. Because nowadays, with everybody working, men and women, both working long hours in some cases, work-life balance tends to suffer. And then if you're working late, you may compromise your relationship in some way. If your relationship is fine, but your health and well-being isn't up to par, then that may spill over as well. So, yeah, I have two different channels. Instagram is JRXTV for health, fitness, well-being content, and YouTube for relationship content.
Right.
Check it out.
Oh,
Like, share, and subscribe the videos, all that type of stuff. Tell your friends, watch the videos. You know the ways.
yeah, you know all the things that are thinging, guys. So, okay, guys, we're shimmy and shaking on out. And we'll see you next Sunday, same time, same place, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11:30 in the UK. Talk to you
Hmm.
soon, guys. Bye.